Okay, folks, I'd like to make this quick. Just an update on what's going on here in Southern Nevada with the trials of the Patriots and trials of the Bundys. Forgive me, I somehow managed to get a cold, so I know I don't sound like my usual self. Well, here we go again. You know, Judge Anna J. Brown did not allow certain evidences in her court. And if she allowed those evidences in her court, it would have been over immediately. She would not let the defendants question the ownership of those lands. And you know, if anybody's had an opportunity to see the emergency motion to dismiss, it had a mandate from Congress and it went all the way back to the 30s and 40s. And that mandate was for that land to be liquidated and disposed of as soon as possible, and Congress invites adverse possession, okay? Which right then, that tells you that the federal government had absolutely no jurisdiction over that land. So now, we had the case, what the heck do they call it? I forget. I want to say case files, but that's not it. But anyhow, last Sunday, they met to see how everything was going along, and if everybody's going to be ready for trial. All right? Well, what was the defense attorneys admitted for the defense the fact that the Clark County, Nevada, has never been owned by the federal government. And it's seemingly a fairly unique situation. Clark County was originally part of Arizona after the Guadalupe-Hidalgo treaty, all right? And Congress deemed fit that land, which became known as Clark County, to be transferred to the state of Nevada. And in that transfer, in that congressional act, it explicitly states that this land has no liens, no encumbrances by the federal government. That the federal government owns none of this land and has zero jurisdiction over this land. All right? Well, this was admitted in a conference call. I think it's what it's called, a conference call. And now we're going to see whether this lackey judge, Gloria Navarro, is going to allow this evidence. See, this is where it gets really bad, folks. It gets really bad. They do everything they can to keep this type of evidence out of court. They keep it out of the trial because it's a slam dunk for the defense. All right? Now, that's what's going on right now. That's what was brought up by the defense attorney, I believe it was Cliven Bundy, that this land is Congress explicitly stated that the federal government has no jurisdiction, no ownership over this land. Okay? It does have some treaties for some Native Americans. That's as I understand it. I have not seen it myself yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I kind of tried looking for it today. I did not find it. I believe that, obviously that they're not going to introduce some false statement. So I believe it is entirely true at this point. Now, yesterday there was a group of us that got together and we did some brainstorming. What are we going to do? And this question always comes up. Is it going to stay peaceful or is it going to turn violent? We go over this all the time as members of the militia or just concerned citizens. And this one gentleman that I was talking to, he's fatalistic. He seems to think that we have no other choice eventually than to take up arms. I, at this time, have not given up hope for a peaceful remedy, a peaceful solution. It really depends on the government, the federal government. It depends on our local government. It depends upon the Sheriff Lombardo. It depends, you might even say it depends on the National Guard, whether they want to uphold their oath to the Constitution of the United States. So that's really who it depends on. We can only go so long in allowing, and this is obvious, it's obvious. We can only go so long allowing our constitutional rights to be taken from us. There was a statement made by Matt Wandersee. Are you going to fight them when they show up on your door? Well, how tactically stupid is that? And it is. It's tactically stupid. And that's why I appeal to people to have what I consider the peaceful way, and the way we can pull this off is that people need to respond. They need to be out there with us. They need to be protesting with us. I have some plans in the future to get some people together and go meet with Sheriff Lombardo. Actually sit down and talk to him, all right? I would like to meet with the governor and sit down and talk with him. And I'm going to start putting these petitions or appeals into them for this meeting, and then I will invite these local people, some that we're just now kind of getting to know each other again. There's this push to start developing a committee of safety is one of the things I'd like to do, and also start getting a militia and getting people involved. Now, the word militia, anybody that is a constitutionalist in their heart, that is willing to take a stand, is a member of the militia. I don't like to overuse the word. It actually offends some people, but it's in the Constitution. That's the fact. It is in the Constitution. And now, there's this mindset by a lot of people, we're just going to stay up in the hills, or we're going to just stay out of the way and let everything take care of itself, and then we'll pick up the pieces. It's not going to be like that. You will not be able to escape what's coming. If this present administration and Hillary Clinton are allowed in any way to get their ways, you know what? We are all in danger. I don't care if you live in the furthest reaches of Alaska or the furthest reaches of Arizona, the furthest reaches of Maine. They're going to get you, all right? Because they're always going to have their do-gooder lackeys, boots on the ground, and that's trying to make a name for themselves, and they're going to go after you wherever you are. And if you're in the city, or if you're way out in the middle of nowhere, they actually want to get you first, okay? Because they want to bring everybody into the cities, Agenda 21. So everybody's got to get on their toes. Everybody's got to start getting involved with this push for freedom. Now, let's talk about Trump for just a minute. What's going on? I told you all here a few weeks ago that these people were planning. Hillary Clinton and her bunch were planning. Obama and his bunch were planning. I didn't know what they were planning, but they're planning something. Well, the first thing they did is they challenged the results. Okay, well, they're losing that, and they lost that, Oh, okay, now they're challenging the legitimacy of the whole thing because, the Russians were involved. Oh, give me a friggin' break. And this is coming from the CIA. The CIA is the biggest bunch of liars on the face of the earth. That's who they are. That's what they do. Okay? Like Trump said, you remember the weapons of mass destruction that got us in that unconstitutional, ungodly war where how many Iraqis were killed? Over 1 million. Okay? How many of the Americans were killed? Something like over 8,000 now. See? And that's the CIA. The CIA pushed that. The CIA kiss my ass. You guys are the biggest bunch of fakes, phonies there ever was. We know that there are bad people in the CIA for the most part. All right? The FBI sounds like it's finally starting to wake up to these folks and what they're up to and putting a stop to this whole thing. We got to rally around Trump. All right? Give him a chance. I think he's going to do the right thing. I know he wants to do the right thing. So anyhow, that's pretty much it. The fact of the matter is, there's two things that are very, very important. The presidency of Trump, him being inaugurated and actually taking the seat. The other thing is these land rights battles. All right? They're not independent of each other, but they're kind of working independent right now. We need to win them both. We need to take care of them both. Okay, let's do some brainstorming. Let's get together. Let's win this damn thing. Thank you. God bless everybody.